Let's talk about proposed contract changes, specifically about reserve. We're talking about reserve classifications, AM, PM, ready reserve, amounts of each type of reserve, additional pay premiums, and 4 days. My name is Eric Schwenk. I'm a 21-year Southwest employee, 18-year flight attendant, and longtime union advocate. I've worked with many committees, and I'm the guy behind crewmath.com. Over the past 15 years, I've been in and out of union work as a shop steward, grievance team member, and served on various committees and boards, including communications, tech, and I served as chair of the last elections. I've been working with contract language for more than 15 years. My goal in this video is to make sure that you have the correct, unbiased information. Look, this is my camera, microphone, house, and I'm currently on leave from Southwest. I'm not being paid by the union in any way whatsoever. So reserve, we all hate it. Does this proposal make it better? That's going to be up for you to decide. Let's take a look at the current reserve system. We have 3 classifications of reserve: AM, PM, and ready. AM can be contacted for any check-in time, so long as they are contacted between 0300 and 11 o'clock local, and they must return to their base by 6 p.m. local on the last day. PM can be contacted for any assignment check-in time, so long as they're contacted between 10 a.m. and 6 p.m. local. Third is ready, who are available for contact on the first day of the reserve 2 hours before the first check-in, but no earlier than 0300 Central, and then continuously, even overnight, throughout their reserve block. Now, with the proposed agreement, we would go from 3 to 5 classifications of reserve. Let's take a look. AM reserve will be liable for contact from 0300 to 11 o'clock local, but no earlier than 0300 Central. Assignments must now check in before 1500, but any assignment checking in between 1301 and 1500 will pay time and a half for the first duty period. If you're given an assignment after 1500, the flight attendant can choose to fly for double time, yes, the entire assignment, or decline the assignment. PM reserves will be liable from 10 a.m. to 1800 local. Assignments must check in after noon local time. If an assignment checks in after 8:01 p.m. and before 10 p.m., the first duty period will pay time and a half. Assignments checking in after 10:01 will pay double time for the entire assignment, or the reserve can elect to decline the assignment. Ready reserve has seen the most changes. Instead of 1 classification of ready reserve, there will be 3 with varying contact times, and new in this proposal, penalty pay for reserves who are assigned outside contact times, and the ability to decline some assignments. No more 24-hour contact times, and now you'd have the ability to decline assignments. Looking at these new and updated classifications, they include RR1, or Ready Reserve 1. You'd be liable for contact from 0300 to 1500 local each day, but no earlier than 0300 Central. You can be given an assignment that checks in before 1900 local. If that assignment checks in between 1701 and 1900, you'll receive time and a half for the first duty period. Any assignment that checks in after 1901 can be declined or accepted for double time. Yeah, the whole pairing. This is similar to AM Reserve, but with longer availability hours. RR2, or Ready Reserve 2, you'd be liable for contact from 10 a.m. to 2200 local each day. You can be given an assignment that checks in up until 0200 local the next day. If that assignment checks in between midnight 01 and 0200, you'll receive time and 1/2 for the first duty period. Any assignment checking in after 0201 will pay double time for the whole assignment, or you can decline the assignment. It's up to you. Then there's RR3, or Ready Reserve 3. You'd be liable for contact from 1500 local to 0259 local time. You can be given an assignment that checks in up until 0700 local. If that assignment checks in between 0501 and 0700, you'll receive time and a half for the first duty period. Any assignment checking in after 0700 can be declined or accepted at double time for the whole assignment. An important note here. With all 5 categories, you'll receive double time for an assignment if contacted outside of your contact hours and given that assignment. Also, red-eye pay is in addition to reserve pay and premiums, and is paid based on scheduled flying, not just late-night flying due to regular ops. What about 4 days when on reserve? So let's talk about 4 days and what changed about those dreaded 4-day reserve blocks in this proposal. Here's what changed. Nothing. Nothing changed. The language allowing 4-day reserve blocks is unchanged. In fact, 4-day reserve blocks have been allowable in our contract for decades. Their use is sporadic, and the language one more than 10 years ago allowing the dropping of a block of reserve has kept the use of 4 days to a minimum. And none of the reserve classifications specify reserve length. Contractually, management can build 4-day reserve blocks. This proposal doesn't change 4 days in any way whatsoever. Why the change in reserve percentages? Now let's look at reserve percentages, or the number of allowable reserve lines. I've seen a lot of confusion regarding the allowable percentages and what this all means. We'll start at the first bid of the month. In this bid, we still have the top 35% who are not obligated to sit reserve, and the remaining 65% who will sit reserve, including VR in a rotation. We're focusing on that second part. So you have a secondary or reserve bid minus the VR lines. That's your 100% who are sitting reserve of some sort. This is where we apply the percentages outlined in the proposal. And here's what those minimums look like. Minimums: 15% AM reserve, 15% PM reserve, 65% of all 3 ready reserve classifications. In that breakdown, planning must build 5% RR1, 5% RR2, and just at least 1 line of RR3. You'll notice that these percentages don't add up to 100%, and that's by design. Remember, these are minimums, and the extra 5% gives planning some ability to fluctuate as flying changes throughout the year to cover that operation. So can I still self-assign? Self-assignment has some similarities to what we're used to seeing today, but ready reserves have some additional flexibility in self-assignment options. Self-assignment will always be based on the number of assignments and open time, and you'll always need to remain available to crew scheduling after you self-assign. Unfortunately, crew scheduling will still have the ability to remove self-assigned assignments, as they may need to make changes to staff the operation. What about RDV, or Reserve Daily Value? Quick, tell me, how was RDV calculated? Yeah, RDV was a revolutionary way to award assignments more fairly, and it was designed to stop the practice of reserve flipping. Yeah, that was actually a thing. Today, RDV is calculated by subtracting your reserve month to date TFP and credits, and the TFP associated with the remaining reserve days from the reserve guarantee. Frankly, it's a mess to figure out, and it's hard to calculate on your own, and it's even harder to explain. The proposed language adds TFP and credits, that's what you've worked, and then subtracts the TFP credit on reserve days not utilized so far in the month. Using the union's example here, and it's much easier to calculate. In these examples, we're calculating the RDV for the reserve block starting on the 18th. This flight attendant was used on all prior days of reserve and worked a total of 32.3 TFP. So we take 32.3 minus the reserve days not used, which is 0, and the RDV is 32.3. In this example, we're calculating RDV for the reserve block on the 22nd. This flight attendant has flown 53.25 TFP, but had 1 day on the 3rd where they weren't used. We'll subtract 6.5 for that day. Remember, the new guarantee is 6.5. And after subtracting, we have 46.75 for the RDV. Reserves will be given assignments within the same classification with the same number of days remaining, with RDV going lowest to highest. If RDV is equal, scheduling will award fly preference in seniority order and pass preference in reverse seniority order. This also applies to reserves returning to base. Look, reserve is miserable. It's now up to you to decide if moving to a more staggered contact times with pay premiums for assignments out of contact hours and the ability to decline assignments is better than the 24-hour reserve liability that we have today. It's up to you to decide if reserve daily guarantee, what you're being paid, should increase from 6 to 6.5, the same as a line holder. It's up to you to decide if assignments should be awarded using a new RDV system that's easier to understand and calculate by yourself. Now, whatever you decide, just go vote. You have until noon on December 8th, 2023 to cast your vote. If you need more information, please go check out the union's website. They have a huge amount of information. I'm on leave. I've been checking it out. There's educators in the lounge. There's webinars. There's a traveling roadshow. So much more. The information's there. You just have to go get it. Please use it. So thanks for watching this. Keep an eye out for more videos like this as I dive into other areas of the tentative agreement to try to dispel some of the rumors that are out there online.